time for your weekly dose of pop culture
with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. It is Saturday night, time for your weekly dose of pop culture with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the stream. It is Saturday night. How is everyone out there?
We're good, Kathy. We're good, Kelly.
Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us on our weekly ride as we talk all things pop culture and whatever our topic is for the week. And that's what we do. Rain or shine, hell or high water, COVID or no COVID.
Yes.
Can I just say, I have made it almost 5 years without the virus. And, here in year 4, I finally tested positive for COVID. And I tell you, this is the first day I think I've been more vertical than horizontal. So I guess O negative wasn't the key. Having O negative blood wasn't the key.
More vertical than horizontal. I had that same problem in college. Just saying. But anyway, as we move on.
Okay.
Let's talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have given you the.
Yeah.
Or maybe just the. That's my cancel culture button. Just to block out everything.
Wow.
Ouch.
Well, okay. Well, before we start on with, because we got a lot of cancel culture going on here. So before we start off with our topic, which is celebrities who do bad deeds.
Okay.
Let's go to our mainline thing. I want to make sure I don't get any interruptions here because I always have people.
Wait, your mainline thing.
Let's go to our pop culture news rather. Before we go to our bad deeds, let's go to our pop culture news.
Okay. All right. So we're going to pop culture news. You got to give me a heads up because you went in so fast.
Sorry.
I'm like, whoa.
I apologize.
Okay, where are we now?
I apologize.
I just need to know where we
are. We never introduced ourselves. That's my sister Kathy. I'm her brother Kenny. This is Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture news. Explain pop culture, but right now we're doing pop culture news. So, Rihanna and this is the ASP,
ASAP Rocky.
ASAP Rocky.
Isn't it pronounced ASAP Rocky or is it
ASAP? I say ASP. I'm just a nerd.
ASP.
I'm an L7
ASP
square.
is an asp, not even
ASAP. Okay, anyway, ASAP Rocky and Rihanna named their new baby.
Okay.
His name.
Now wait, is this the baby here? Because the baby looked like he's about to be 2. So what took him so long?
That's the other baby. That's Raza.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I got an old baby picture. All right. So what's the new
That's
baby?
got to be Raza.
Okay.
And if after you name a baby Raza, let's get to this stuff. Rihanna's real name is Robin Rihanna Fenty. But ASAP Rocky's real name is Rakeem Athelston Myers.
Okay.
And they decided to name this second baby Riot Rose.
Is it a girl or a boy?
I have no idea what that means.
Okay.
It's a boy.
But that's going to be exciting for the, first day of preschool or the teacher to see, the kid's name. Going down the roster. Oh, I got a kid named Riot. Oh, that's going to be fun. Fun times. Riot but
Rose.
I guess, it's a balance. It's fire and, and ice. It's kind of like, Riot is the rebel part and Rose is the sweet tender part. I don't know.
Why?
It's different. The only problem with a name like that is that you're not going to see it on a license plate. Not a personalized plate, but those little like when you go on trips and stuff and you get your little
Yeah,
name
and
on
you
a
get the
license
little
plate.
yeah, no, everybody.
I'm just
Look,
saying.
can I have the
Unless
screen for just 1 second? Can I have the screen just for
okay,
1 minute? 1 second, 10 seconds. Okay, so here's what I want to say. Riot Rose, very original. Nobody else in his class will be named Riot. Nobody. It's not a name that's going around as popular. And people have names, things they aspire to have. They name their kids Porsche. They name their kids after cars. People name their kids Diamond, things you'll never get. But you went with Riot Rose. I don't understand it. But people, what's wrong with names like Brian, Steve, Joe, Kenneth? Let's get together here, people. Let's get it together. These kids have got to walk around with these names for their entire lives. Yo, Riot Rose, R&R. Were you going on vacation? I'm just saying, let it go. Okay, we can go back to the show.
are you done? Okay. I wanted to give you your space.
I just have it's not that I have a problem with it. It's original. But come on, man.
It's
This kid's going to have his name for the rest of his life.
and there's some celebrities that don't even share that information out anyway. They don't want people knowing their kids' names because people are weird and quirky. And in the interwebs, that
when
you
you're
know,
a celebrity, when you're a celebrity, I get it. You want to keep your kids private, let them figure out their whole lives. You don't want even Michael Jackson didn't want his kids in the spotlight in the beginning. He would cover them up, and we thought it was weird, but I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why celebrities hide their kids away from all that because it can be a pain. It can be a pain. And so I get it. I totally get it. But, when you name your kid something like Riot Rose, you're going to look at that kid like, you're Rihanna's boy, ain't you? It's just,
Well, there's some celebrities that don't publicize the names of their children at all, so that
you name that boy Riot Rose so you can publicize his name.
Because the bad thing is that there are people who, there's probably somebody who's already, gotten that website, riotrose.com or riotrose.live, just based on this baby's name. Like the opportunity for people to exploit that information, I get it. And maybe they release a name that you are making fun of, but maybe they release a name, but who's to say that the name on the birth certificate isn't something completely different that we're not even privy to, which to me would make a lot more sense. If they wanted him to be or her to be known as, or they to be known by that name, they could release a name and it doesn't matter. But actually what survives on their birth certificate might be something totally different that ain't none of our business and shouldn't be. I'm sure Sting has a driver's license that somewhere says Gordon Sumner and it doesn't have his stage name on it.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing out some theories. Just in case.
I mean, So
hello and greetings.
Tonight we are talking how is streaming.
Nice well, we got to be careful too, because sometimes people are putting things on there and it could be to direct or scam people to another site or directory, and we don't want to approve of or endorse that kind of thing. So we're not about that life. We are about pop culture on a Saturday night. So Kenny, why don't you go ahead and talk about what we're talking about?
Okay, so tonight what we're talking about are the bad boys and girls of Hollywood. The people have done, like a couple of weeks ago, we did talk about the good that people do in Hollywood. Now we're talking about the bad. So we did the good, we did the bad. We might have to do a show about the ugliest people in Hollywood. Is that a show? I don't know. There are some people that are
I
funny.
don't know whether that's an inappropriate show because
It's
who's
not
to say
okay. I'm just
who's
saying the
ugly?
good, the
It's
bad,
an
the
eye of the
ugly,
beholder.
the people who aren't that great looking, like Steve Buscemi. He's not. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Not the best looking guy in the world. Not the best looking guy in the world. But
Speaking of Steve Buscemi, did you see the Big Lebowski? Big Lebowski update?
I have not seen the Big Lebowski yet. I've not seen it yet. I've not had time to see it yet.
Other night when you
I'm getting
talked
there.
about
I'm getting there.
having your drink and everything, I was like, oh, for sure he'll watch the Big Lebowski. He could appreciate it, even though he wasn't having a White Russian. He could still appreciate it. I've had a White Russian. I don't prefer them.
Let's say that night I had my drink and I had too much of my drink and I wasn't seeing any movie. So
Okay, the movies were
There you
watching you in essence.
yeah, yes. So
Okay.
we're gonna start our list off with a rapper.
I don't know if it's the COVID or the age. I'm having hot flashes up in here. So you might have to take over part of this list if I don't make it through the
Okay.
show.
So we're gonna start off with Dr.
saying.
Dre, the rapper.
Why? Is that where we're going to start off?
Yeah, we'll start off with the rapper. Because
Okay.
there's not. I mean, okay. Let me put it to you this way. There are a lot of people on this list, and there should be more people on this list, but we don't have that kind of time.
So, in saying that, should we qualify? Who are we including, or are we including these actors at their most current moments or at their lowest moments?
At the lowest moments. Some of these people have risen, as you'll see in the list. Some of these people have risen above it. Some of these people are still locked up. So we're gonna talk about that.
Still locked in. Okay.
So we're gonna talk about
Right.
Dr. Dre, the rapper, who has been known to have violence towards women.
Now,
I believe
does he have any arrests or convictions, or are we just going on rumor and gossip?
I believe he has some arrests because he slapped D Barnes.
Okay. All right. I just don't want to throw out there and
No, all my
especially-
research has been thorough.
Okay.
Like these are not accusations.
Okay. Well, okay. So we're not talking accusations. We're just the facts, nothing but
We're
the
talking
facts.
about, hey Natalie, how you doing? I notice how you say hi to Kathy, like you don't know who I am. I feel some kind of way about that.
I'm feeling a lot better. I actually got on I've been taking that regimen of the COVID drugs. So that's always fun, good times, nice special side effects. So
Yes.
won't go into them in detail.
Natalie, I'm in another state, so you don't have that kind of access to me. It should be, hey Kenny, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a couple months,
Absolutely.
I feel that, But I'm glad to see my sister's getting better. I was worried about Cassie. So you wasn't worried about me. Anything happened to me. You wasn't worried. I was worried about Cassie. You wasn't worried about me.
Well, you're not infected. Oh my gosh.
I could be.
Well,
according to
I think
popular
it goes
opinion,
to
I'm
prove-
infected with something.
I was on my high and mighty kick for like the last 4 years going, oh, I didn't get it. And there's something to my O negative blood type. And even the doctor that I saw the other day was like, she was thinking the same thing too. And she actually recently got it this year after not having COVID since 2019. But I digress, and I won't COVID you guys all.
Okay, well,
throughout the broadcast. But yes, I actually did have I took a positive home test, and I was like, okay, maybe because I felt kind of crappy, and then I took another one like the next morning, thinking, oh wait, maybe it's a false positive. It was a positive, and then I actually went to the doctor's office because who could trust the home test? And I guess hey, it's COVID all around. But that's the great thing about live streaming, because you won't have to get the COVIDs over the interwebs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's how it doesn't translate. I don't need that kind of, because I have knock wood.
Knock wood.
Started have not
As a
had it at
family,
all.
I was like, we were really doing well, but hey.
I have not had it, and I'm not going to jinx myself by bragging about it, but no, I've been safe. And I go a lot of different places and see people and do a lot of different things. And Nellie types in our comments, I am always about you, Kenny. Sorry to be the distraction. You're not a distraction. You just hurt my feelings. That's all. Just hurt my feelings. Move right along. Now that Nellie has hurt my feelings, moving right along.
All right.
We're going to talk about our next bad boy. He's a singer, and he is Chris Brown.
Now I found this picture of Chris Brown, and I got him all in his tattooed state, as opposed to like, I don't know, this Christmas Chris Brown, which I guess was right about the time when he was kind of getting some beef. We were talking about Rihanna earlier, and that used to be his girlfriend until they went at it. And
well, I'm going to have a very unpopular opinion. I don't like his version of This Christmas.
I don't know.
I'm a Donny Hathaway This Christmas person all the way. Anybody else that does that song,
I feel you.
Down to me.
I feel you. I get it, and I totally respect it. Donny Hathaway This Christmas is a classic.
Yes.
But for that movie, for that moment, I think he does a fine job. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And I think, he has one of the better versions, because a lot of people have taken that song and have done that song. But
like the Whispers version, version depresses me.
It's very sad.
That depresses the hell out of me. I'm sorry. But anyway, Chris Brown's a bad boy because he's known for being out kind of on the wild side. But most of all, he was known for knocking the hell out of Rihanna.
Yeah.
Apparently, she said the wrong thing in the car, and he said, "What?" And that wasn't what he was supposed to do to women. Yep, wrong thing at the wrong time. He lost his cool, and Rihanna said, no, we won't let the world know about this. And there you go.
Definitely. And not that it's ever the right time or a cool time to hit anybody, but I think, and as far as like, especially with Chris Brown's image, because it was a little more like Disney friendly, and after that whole allegation and after all that stuff happened, his reputation did take a turn. And again, that's why you got not the cute little Chris Brown from This Christmas, but face tattooed Chris Brown.
Yeah.
Trying to be. Oh wait. Like the Lauryn Hill song, trying to be a. Oh wait. I forgot. I can't think of. I just think of that line about living in your mom's basement.
I don't know what song you're talking about.
Domestic violence men. That thing.
Doo-wop, that thing. Doo-wop, that thing.
Doo-wop, that thing. The sneaky punk domestic violence men. Anyway, that's what I always think of Chris Brown now when I hear those lyrics.
Really?
But go on to the bad deeds that celebrities do.
So next we have somebody who I didn't think would be on this list, but I had to put him on this list. He's deceased, but Steve Jobs. This
and again,
I'm going to curse about this because this one kind of pisses me off. He had a child, and he neglected this kid. He ditched child support, and he was an absentee dad. And with all the money he make, he finally said, "You know what? I'm just going to pay $500 a month like I'm supposed to." And his daughter that he neglected wrote a book about, the absentee father. And there's nothing worse to me than an absentee father. I'm not Bill Cosby. I'm not the Bill Cosby dad for the TV show, but I love my kids. And sometimes I have to tell them, like, look, you on your own. I can't help you. I can't do nothing for you, man, because what they want is out my limits and something they shouldn't be asking for anyway. But otherwise, I do everything I can for my kids. And an absentee father to me is the lowest of the low. Lowest
So,
of the low.
and again, I think you're coming from it from a biased perspective, and I get it.
Right.
I hear what you're saying. Having read the Walter Isaacson autobiography on Steve Jobs and understanding a little bit about that situation, so I hear what you're saying, and I know that his daughter wrote about it, but I don't think the situation was as clear cut, initially, because I'm not so sure he was at first aware of the child. But then when he became aware, he did not step up. I get that he didn't do it. I think
Right.
part of it was him not acknowledging it or not wanting to acknowledge it, even though I think he went through the trouble of naming one of the computers like after Lisa, or calling one of the precursors to the Mac was called Lisa, or named after this illegitimate child that he had and at first would not acknowledge. So again, I hear what your beef is, but also too, I think there probably is a bigger story there. And unless you've read like not just the daughter's biography, but his biography, like from both sides, maybe, then who are we to speak on what he actually did? And if his payments that he had to make were only $500 and he made them, whether it was retroactively, just because now he was worth, billions upon billions, could he have done better by his daughter? Sure. But, if he did what was required, why are you hating on him for actually doing what was required when he finally did acknowledge the daughter?
That is a whole nother pop culture show altogether, because I do what I'm required, and if more is needed, then I'll do more because I love my kids, and that's just what I do. But we're gonna move on to the next one.
Okay.
This asshat, Vince Neil, the singer for Motley Crue, vehicle manslaughter.
Vehicular
manslaughter, and he got off on this. He only served like 30 days or something like that, or 45 days.
But isn't the criteria like?
And he bragged about it by saying, "That's what money."
I'm sorry. He said what?
That's what having money does.
Oh, that is important.
When he didn't serve it in real time for it, his response was, "That's what having money does."
So again, the problem isn't just with the actual bad deed of vehicular manslaughter, because there have been other people who are celebrities that have, had led to others' deaths in cars. Luther Vandross, Matthew Broderick,
Yes.
I think you're having a reaction to his reaction or public statements about it.
Yes.
Okay.
I think my reaction is the fact that he made, the reason I put this is the fact that he made the statement, that's what having money does.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Donald Trump saying, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and still be president. Kind of like the same thing, the arrogance of it.
Gotcha.
You did something wrong, and now you're going to be arrogant about it.
Okay, I hear you. So that's what's floating your boat.
Yes.
This is
I'm
where
sure Luther Vandross and Matthew Broderick, I'm sure they were kind of sorry about their actions. They have some kind of remorse. Vince Neil sounds like he has no remorse at all.
Okay, so you're stuck on his level of remorse. He just doesn't have the right level of remorse for you.
Yes. Yeah. For me.
I'm just saying.
You're sounding like a lawyer here, Kathy.
I'm just
like a lawyer. You're taking my words and you're taking them literally, and you're trying to trick me up.
I'm not trying to trick you up. I'm just saying.
Look, I got 3 daughters and an ex-wife and enough ex-girlfriends to get past what you're trying to do to me, okay?
Okay, then let me do this to you. Let me do this. Oh wait, hold on for a second. I was going to do this. Okay, sorry. Just kidding. Just giving Kenny a minute to gather his thoughts because he's starting to feel a certain kind of way, and to also gather our thoughts. And thank you guys for hanging out with the podcast tonight. We do it every Saturday night. We hang out, talk pop culture, usually pick a topic, give some pop culture news, and just chat with our pop culture kids in the comments and with you guys. So thank you so much for hanging out. Check out our website, kathyandkenny.com. You can see that in the comments below. Hopefully there are comments. Also know that you can check us out every Tuesday on Who's Got Next Radio, 101.5 Who's Got Next Radio in the South Jersey area. We are featured on there as well. If you are listening to the podcast, please give us a like on the podcast. If you're listening to us on YouTube, a like and a subscribe would be great. And a review on the podcast would also really help out the show. And again, make sure you check us out at kathyandkenny.com. As we go back to the list, what is next?
Okay, so next on our list, I guess we couldn't do a bad boy list without putting singer R. Kelly on our list.
Oh, no, yeah, he is, for this decade, at least for the 2000s, he is the bad boy of the decade, I guess.
We got child pornography. We got rape. I think we got holding against the will, kidnapping or whatever. We got a whole bunch of things on this guy who is currently serving time.
Wow. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing because here's the thing I have a problem with a lot of these people that we're going over. Their behavior is known in their community, in the Hollywood celebrity community. Their behavior is known. No one in Hollywood calls out anyone else for their behavior until they get caught by the police.
I was about to say, because there's money to be made. So if the golden goose is laying the good eggs, who's going to call you out on your bad behavior? Because, Hollywood needs those golden eggs. So, yeah. And unfortunately, you would think fame and money, people think it's going to bring you happiness and all this great life. And actually, it only amplifies who you really are. So if at the core, there's something that's not good there, then fame and money is only going to bring it out. I kind of got a glimpse of that too, watching a documentary about the cast from Glee, and you saw just some of, the bad things, or some of the stars, like 3 major stars from that show, were dead within, the life of the show, and not long after the show ended, which is kind of sad, but it was just.
Wait, what show was that you said?
Glee.
What show was that?
Glee. Glee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's like 4 of them are dead, aren't there? 4 of them have passed away.
4? I thought it was only 3. Maybe
I know the one gentleman,
Corey Monteith,
yes,
Naya Riviera,
yes,
and the guy who played Puckerman,
yes,
the guy with the mohawk.
Wasn't there another one? There wasn't, was there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But
And
anyway.
that's unexpected because that's a very young cast.
Oh yeah,
and,
they were saying how that show might have been cursed or something.
Yes,
because so much bad stuff was happening. But the one guy who I think they thought killed himself was being brought up on charges of like child pornography, and that's what made me think of it when we started talking about R. Kelly. But again, I guess the part that bothers me is that there's probably people within that circle, within his circle, who might have known about this behavior and didn't report on it or didn't, go to the authorities or take the actions as necessary because they, are benefiting.
Well, I remember before he got
laying the golden eggs.
I remember before he got into court for all this stuff. I remember hearing an interview on I believe it was the Wendy Williams show where she was just on radio or WJS.
Mm-hmm.
They interviewed his brother, and his brother kind of let a lot of that stuff be known. And I don't think anybody took it seriously. Ed Brown is in the house.
Ed Brown is in the house.
And he has given some names here. Before he got his drug overdose, Mark died of suicide. Naya had a drowning accident. Nancy Moats, was she on Glee? She died of suicide.
I don't know who that was. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's just...
No, 4. I was right with 4.
And that was the Jim Ford guy, I think, was the behind the scenes person too.
Yes.
Like
so that's
I was watching this documentary and it was just too many people on the set of that show that's dying.
Also,
but
Ed Brown is...
through our list of celebrity bad deeds. Oh, you know what? And Ed also gave a report in the comments about the accident from Matthew Broderick, because I know that there was a fatal injury when he was involved in a car crash. I think it was in France or I think it was somewhere.
He was vacationing with Jennifer Grey, and 2 people were killed in the car accident. Yeah. He was doing Ferris Bueller at the time, and he was able to walk away from that. So privileges. Next, we have someone who was very privileged and very lucky and kind of turned his life around.
He was Robert like a character in one of his movies. Definitely.
Robert Downey Jr., the
now I grabbed this
the first half of the Marvel universe.
I grabbed this picture. I grabbed this picture because I guess this has to be a recent picture because he's looking like
old looking.
His age is showing. He's like
his age is showing.
Iron old man,
Now we know Robert Downey Jr. from early movies like Weird Science, Back to School. And now we know Robert Downey Jr. from Iron Man,
less
and the whole
than
Marvel universe.
0.
In between those times, he dealt with a lot of drug issues. He had a lot of drug charges. I believe he spent.
So if you watch this performance in the movie Less Than Zero, and even though it was a movie, but I think some of the things that were depicted in the movie might have resembled some of the things he wound up going through in his Hollywood career, because I think there were times that they said he was found in other people's homes and just all kinds of inappropriate behaviors and things that were going on around his drug use. And his character in Less Than Zero, I think, gave an insight or a glimpse at what that life might have been like.
But with Robert Downey Jr., I don't care if he was on drugs or not. His performance in Less Than Zero, his performance in the Charlie Chaplin movie, this guy is he is the ultimate actor to me. Robert Downey Jr. can act his ass off. He is the man as far as acting concerned. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do next outside of the Marvel Universe, what big role he's going to take on next outside of the Marvel Universe. And I'm glad he turned his life around from his drug use, from the trouble he got in, because he was in jail for 45 days or something like that. He did spend some time in jail, but he was ultimately able to get off on all his drug charges. Next on our list is Mark Wahlberg.
And don't mention the movie Tropic Thunder, not one of Kenny's favorites. I don't know if you
not my I hate.
He went off on that.
I love Robert Downey
Don't
Jr.
you go
I
there.
hate what he did in Tropic Thunder. I love Robert Downey Jr. Do not get me started. I love Less Than Zero. I even love what he did in Weird Science. I love what he did in you know, when he was in Back to School and the character he played with the weird hair, even though it was a bit part, he was very good in that. Iron Man, I love everything. I am Iron Man. Boom. Snapped his feet. He died. He even died gracefully in that movie. But Tropic Thunder,
Spoiler alert,
was the worst movie ever. Because I watched the whole movie, and then he walked around in blackface. Let's not even talk about it. Let's go on to Mark Wahlberg.
We got less than 20 minutes, and we still have quite a few to go.
Yes. Mark Wahlberg, he's an actor, and when he was 16, he was...
Well, before he was an actor...
Before he was an actor.
He was a rapper.
He was a rapper. Marky Mark and a Funky Bunch. Good vibrations.
Good vibrations. There you go.
Good
okay.
vibrations.
But go ahead.
When he was 16, he was charged of beating up and nearly killing a blind man.
Wow.
The man that can't defend himself. You punk behind celebrity like you.
Well, I got to take exception to that too. Why are we assuming because the person is blind that they can't defend themselves? Who's to say that blind person isn't a black belt? I mean,
everybody who's blind is not Daredevil. Let's start at that. Let's start there.
But by the same token, you're jumping to the conclusion. You're on that jump to conclusion, Matt, and you're assuming that because they're blind, they can't defend themselves. I'm just saying, hear the words. Go ahead. You tell the story.
Just saying that, you know, why would you? As a man, I wouldn't even try to fight a blind man, whether he was a black belt or not. But Mark Wahlberg he was I guess apparently he was a jerk when he was younger. The next is a guy who is just trouble all around, and I think he wanted to cause the media trouble just to get exposure. Shia LaBeouf.
And like Shia LaBeouf, when he was, I remember him from Holes. Like, what happened to the kid from Holes? He was so cute and adorable. And that's why, and I know we're going to get to another person on your list, but excuse me. See, I didn't send you my COVID. Stop that. Anyway, that's why I think sometimes Hollywood can be bad for child actors. And my reason for not liking child actors is mainly for the child actors, because sometimes it doesn't work out so good for them. And I think Shia LaBeouf is one of those examples where being a child actor didn't help his maturity at all. So sometimes that spotlight isn't great to be shined on folks who haven't dealt with puberty yet. That's all I'm saying.
The epitome of someone who was celebrity as a child, who grew up and didn't get to experience their childhood and kept it moving, was Michael Jackson, of course. Mm-hmm. Next, we have Mel Gibson.
Woo! What we need are the Mel Gibson tapes, because
I'm too old for this.
I can listen to those tapes all day. But
I'm too old for this dish.
Here's the thing with Mel Gibson, though. I mean, the thing is, when you listen to those tapes, you could tell his ex-wife was just baiting him because she knew she was recording him. And that part, to me, is unfortunate. But again, fame, success, money, that only highlights who you are inside. If the core of who you are inside ain't right, then it's going to show up and you're going to show out. So, hey, you get what you get.
Yeah. You know, you deserve every minute of that because you know you're a celebrity. And somebody, you know what? Anyway, moving on to Amanda. This is stupid. So moving on to Amanda Bynes. The actress who I used to love as a kid. Amanda Bynes on the Amanda Show was hilarious. She was a funny kid. She was a good actor. Big Fat Liar.
Okay, see, I didn't see her on those things. I do know, wasn't she in Easy A? Wasn't that Amanda Bynes in Easy
No, that
A?
was
Oh, I thought it was Amanda Bynes.
Who was in La La Land?
La La Land was Emma Stone.
That was Emma Stone.
The
Easy
character
A was Emma Stone.
I know that.
But I don't know if Amanda Bynes was in Emma.
If I can ever get a word in edgewise,
I don't know if Amanda Bynes was in Easy A.
She was in Easy A because she was like the he called her the Jesus freak because she was a girl, like her father wound up being the pastor because they had the chastity club and they were all out to get Emma Stone's character because she was doing the Scarlet Letter thing. But maybe
I never seen the movie. But
You've never seen Easy A? Kidding. As far as modern day rom-coms, that is a classic. Somebody in the chat, Ed, come on, back me up. Easy A, especially with Ed is what I'm talking about. Amanda Bynes, yes, as Marianne Bryant. That's right. She was like, and Easy A.
Why are you always getting on me for what I didn't see? How can we never get on you for what you didn't see?
See, Easy A is good. I don't think I didn't think I would like it. And you know what? Again, it's a formulaic romantic comedy, but with the reference to the 80s movies, to be around these parts, come on, Kenny. That's a given. You know why? Because the movies I haven't seen are Fast and Furious, like 3 through 10. What am I missing? Not much. But let's go on because we're going to go over time, and the list still has a few more names to hit.
So we're going to hit Charlie Sheen.
Amanda Bynes' Bad Deed. I never heard her Bad Deed.
Oh, Amanda Bynes had addiction behavior and wild behavior, and she spent some time in rehab. Now she cannot be hired in Hollywood. She's supposed to be doing a fashion line. I don't know if that has done anything with it. But with her wild behavior and her addiction issues, she has pretty much kind of messed up her time in Hollywood.
Now,
I think some of that's not fair because there might be some mental health issues involved. And I think people aren't addressing that as well as they should when it comes to child actors. So, and here's my thing. Because we talked about some of the other things, like, Robert Downey Jr. having his issues with drugs and everything else. But he got, once he got in rehab and got his stuff together, he still got chances. So do they create those opportunities for everybody is all I'm saying. And I realize some people like Robert Downey Jr. is from like a showbiz family, like his father was a director. So he's got like that added tag of a legacy kind of person. So are they given more leeway than other folks? Like what people have put up with like Drew Barrymore and her behaviors in the past, if she wasn't Barrymore. So, would they accept that? You're right. You're absolutely right. So, Ed has a comment here. He says, I think addiction is more of a sickness, especially with child actors. And I agree with Ed. I think that it's not looked at as well. And I think Robert Downing.
I think what happens, especially in this country, we tend to think of if somebody's physically sick, like I have COVID, I got to quarantine for 5 days. I have to take medications, and because I had the congestion, because I had the soreness and the tiredness, okay, there's physical symptoms. But a lot of times in this country, when it's mental symptoms, I don't know whether we give it as much credence as being a sickness or an illness when it is our mental health. Although I think, and maybe this was a byproduct of the pandemic we can be thankful for, I think more people are more aware or becoming more aware or more sensitive to mental health. And I know before I got sick, I went to a training where we were talking about the whole child, and it was talking about the different parts where we talk about academics or grades, we talk about behavior, but they also are spending a lot of time talking about that third wheel for social emotional well-being. And I think that is the one good thing. I think
we
if there is a good thing
we
that
talk
come
about
out of the
depression.
pandemic that we've gotten.
Yeah, we talk about pop culture a lot, and I don't say too much about it, but I suffer from depression. And I actually had to talk to my supervisor about that because there's some mornings I wake up in the morning, I just can't function. And that is understood. And I put it on my FMLA. So it's one of those things that I think America is trying to cover more of. We're going to move on to our next
Well, that's why
person.
there should be no shame in getting help. So
No, it's
we're
no
going to put
shame
that out
now.
there. So,
Get shame
you
in
know
a
what?
minute.
Our
Let
show
it
needs
know.
a sponsor. We need to get better help to sponsor our pop
Yeah,
culture.
yes, we do. So our next person is Charlie Sheen.
Ah,
This
he just had a public meltdown. I kind of felt bad for him. What was it? Tiger energy, tiger blood? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
He
But I
had
do
he
know.
had a
I
sweet
have
gig.
read.
I'm sorry. 2.5 Men. I never really watched the show. I probably didn't start watching it until he started going a little crazy. But I mean, sweet gig, and then he just
I will
I
say,
don't
2.5 Men was funny. I'm thinking about binging all the seasons
know.
because the
Okay.
shows I've seen, the clips I've seen are hilarious.
Mm.
But this is a man who's had addiction problems. Even when he did Ferris Bueller, I think he admitted he had addiction problems.
Another child actor,
Another child actor.
legacy performer.
And he is a legacy actor because his father is
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. His
Emilio
brother is
Estevez.
Emilio Estevez. So it's also the family. But apparently, from what I read, he was sleeping around being HIV positive. And he knew he was HIV positive and still sleeping around. To me, he's on the level of Steve Jobs not taking care of his kid.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you, but I know we're running out of time, so I'm not even going to go down that
Okay.
rabbit hole with you because I think this is another level. Because not only is he putting his not taking care of your kids, yes, that's bad. That's not good. But again, compared with some of this other stuff on this list, I kind of think domestic abuse, manslaughter is a pretty big issue. Also, like I'm saying, knowingly, willingly transmitting like a sexual transmitted disease that we don't have a cure for that has killed people. That's to me a form of committing
I see what you're saying.
So
I see what you're saying.
to me, those offenses are going to rank a little higher as bad deeds than not paying child support. And I get the bee in your bonnet for that whole type of offense. And no, it's not great, but no, I think we need some levels here. We need to level this stuff out.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I totally understand what you're saying. I totally get it.
Let's not get it twisted.
Last on our list is the bad girl of all bad girls.
Bad girls,
Believe me, when I was doing this list, there was a lot of people on this list that I did not put on, and I see what you're saying. And I know, like, the gentleman who was on that 70s show who just got sentenced to 30 years to life.
Oh, who was that?
Madison. What is his name? Madison, the guy who got sentenced to 30 years of life from that 70s year, so for rape.
Oh,
and
wow. I didn't hear about that.
Ashton Krister and his wife both put in letters for his defense. And then they had to retract that they got sentenced and apologize for those letters that they put in because they said that they're all about the victims. But Madison got sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for rape.
Oh, wow.
Madison, yes. 2 counts of rape. He got 30 years to life. Thank you, Natalie.
Wow.
And originally in his defense, so he is a bad boy too. In his defense, Ashton Kutcher and his wife, Danny Madison.
Danny,
the justice was 30 years of life in prison on Thursday for having 2 women, giving them some relief after they spoke in court about the decades of damage he inflicted. And Ed Brown is giving us that information. Ashton Kutcher and his wife, what's her name? Ashton Kutcher and his wife, what's her name?
Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis, yes.
And Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. Anyway, the 2 people that started the 70s show with him that are now married, they sent letters for his defense.
Okay.
Once he got convicted, they are saying that they are sorry they did that, and they are for the victims. Not too little, too late. And Astrid, I know you do a lot for other charities and do a lot for people, but you tried to back your boys' play. You tried to back your boys' play, and it wasn't the play to back. Sometimes you gotta say, "Yo, dude, you're kind of on your own here." But I give you credit for trying to back
something.
Yes.
I've never watched the 70s show.
I never watched that 70s show either, and I will not be doing that now.
There's 2 shows I think that were kind of big in pop culture sitcoms that I never really clicked with that a lot of people did, and that was that 70s show and The Big Bang Theory.
I watched it. I binged The Big Bang Theory, and I love it.
Okay.
You
know what I've been binging since I've been sick? Don't ask me why.
Why?
Weeds. Weeds. It was a Showtime show.
Yeah, I know what it is. I know what you're thinking about too. You have to get that out your mind. Bad girl. The bad girl of podcasting. Kathy Walker, ladies and gentlemen. The bad girl watching Weeds.
Okay, so that's my bad deeds. I've been watching Weeds.
Yeah, watching Weeds. Bad host. So our last person on the list
and taking Palaxin.
Yeah. The last person on the list is that wackest weed, as Gregory Hines said in History of the World Part 1. Wackest weed.
Wackest weed.
Our last person on the list is Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Lindsay Lohan.
Lindsay Lohan did time. Drug possession, drunk driving. She was on probation and she broke it, getting caught again and again. Not only is she a bad girl celebrity, she's not a very smart one because she keeps getting caught and going back and doing time, even though it's in a minimum security prison where probably nobody had contact with her at all. She didn't have to fight her way through jail and get a shank, but she still had to go
to jail. But actually, I think she just had a baby, so she's like a mom. So she's
really so she's calming down,
right? Of kind of turning it around and making.
I know there's a lot of other bad people that people done bad things that we forgot. We forgot Mike Tyson, Bill Cosby. Let me see who else.
I mean, the list could go on and on.
The list could go on and on. Only a 45-minute show. Bad things, and we're talking about in our generation. In the past generations, so many people did bad things, and it's a Hollywood thing. Harvey Weinstein, Phil Spector.
Well, that's been a part of this whole kind of recent set of events. That some of this bad behavior has been going on for years, but it's kind of been sanctioned. But now women have been speaking up. And since some of this bad behavior is being exposed, it's being kind of exposed and called out, which I think is a good thing that now people are finally, again, being called on the carpet. You You can't just do what you want to do. And again, fame, money, success is only going to amplify who you are inside. So if the person you are inside, is not good, all that stuff is not going to help it. It just isn't. Sorry. Anyway, don't let me say what I really feel, because then I'd have to. And I'm not going to do that. All right. We have got to get out of here. What?
You know you can't make me laugh.
We haven't talked about next week yet, but we will be here next week every Saturday night, 8:30 to 9:30. Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. If you're joining us on Facebook, we are also on YouTube. As you can see, scrolling down our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@popculturekids. Give us a thumbs up, give us a like, join that channel as we're trying to push that one out. Let us know what you would like to see, because we are trying to put together some short form videos on just little pop culture bursts of information. So we're going to be working on those as well. And next week we'll be back here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So as far as it goes,
we were back here.
Okay, you don't have a topic?
You said we can't do the ugly people in Hollywood.
We're not going to do a show on ugly people. That's just not. I'm just not about that life.
Okay.
I'm not going to send that kind of karma out there.
I seen an article that looked very interesting to me, and I would like to do a show on the best ensemble cast in a TV show or movie.
You know what? Because you just want to talk about Friends, because you are just this closet.
No. Because there's a lot of movies. Like you could do like the Knives Out movies. You could do the Avengers Endgame. We can talk about Friends, but the best ensemble
movie cast or TV cast?
Best ensemble cast, period.
I think it's too hard. That's two different lists.
I know. We'll do the 10 best ensemble casts. The 10 best
don't you encourage
ensemble
him.
cast. See,
Steve.
Ed agrees with me, and I said that in the beginning. Steve Buscemi, ugly dude.
No. And Natalie
says ugly people topic not okay.
Not okay. See, that'll get you canceled.
Because good looking people like us can't talk about the ugly people.
Okay.
That's bullying.
Instead. Now, thank you for ending us on a joke. Next week we'll be talking. I think we should just do ensemble movie cast.
Ensemble movie cast? Or do you want to do TV cast?
Too many.
Ensemble movie cast. Okay.
Unless we just pick 5.
Okay.
And go
ensemble
do
movie cast. We'll do the 10 best ensemble movie cast.
Okay.
Because you know what mine are going to be.
It's all going to be superhero movies.
No, it's not. It's not all going to be superhero movies. But you know I'm going for number 1. So don't even take that from me. Like, you know what? We're going to have to fight. If I got to fly to North Carolina to fight you physically, that's what we're going to do. Damn it.
Well, okay. I already know one is the Magnificent 7. So
if
you want to find out what the other 9 are, we'll see you next Saturday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube. Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. We will see you next week. Be well, people, and stay safe.
God bless your soul. Keep living. Peace.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.